I never considered myself that. So I took a look at the list, which was like David Duke and Spencer and these types. And I said, yeah, not really interested. And then August rolled around, and it was a week before the rally. And I heard that all these other people are going to be there. I heard that Faith Goldie was going to be there. It was a friend of mine, Gavin McInnes, Sam Hyde. And these were more like mainstream figures.
What did he say, D. San?
Went out everywhere to Media Matters, which is this left-wing hit piece mill, and they started sending clips from my show and saying, this guy's a Nazi, do hit pieces on him, called my boss, tried to get me fired. So
tell me the Israel issue, because just for the average person isn't going to know what you're talking about.
Sure.
And I sure don't, so.
Yeah, well, it's really kind of simple. I mean, people don't have to agree with me to see the contradiction that I'm about to explain. So I supported Trump, and I still do, because he's America first, which is really like a non-ideological position. It says, look, this is the American government. The American government is going to represent the American people and knows. And they brought her on, and I met her, and we got to know each other. And so she got me a show there. And so I started doing a show every night, and I never stopped. So that's what I still do today, but independently now.
Okay.
I'll let him up. If he wants to come up, I'll let him up.
That's because they believed in equal rights.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they also believed in a white country. So it's like they would actually be accurately white supremacists.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
But ideologically, they were liberal. They just also happen to be racial realist is a term that was very popular back then. And so anyway, so I saw the list there. That's the reason I put it in scare quotes, because people will call me that, and I understand the differences are very granular, and most people wouldn't really understand that because they're not into it like that. But I never considered myself that. So I took a look at the list, which was like David Duke and Spencer and these types, and I said, yeah, not really interested. And then August rolled around, and it was a week before the rally, and I heard that all these other people are going to be there. Oh, and I didn't know how the media works, but they kind of propped me up as like, oh, this is like a radicalized white nationalist teenager.
And you were 17 at the time, right?
Yeah, or 18. Yeah, I was 18.
Wow. And wait, so the whole purpose of that was literally just to protest the name changing of the park.
Well, that was one of the reasons,
and then unite the right. So bring the right, everyone on all these different groups on the right together.
Right.
But the problem is there's actual extremists.
What is the main thing they were marching on? And this, for instance, probably going to leave.
And not the interests of foreign governments or multinational corporations. We're going to do what's in the best interest of the citizens, not like the rich or some global elite or the United Nations. Pretty straightforward. So here I am, a right-wing college guy, waving the flag, saying, yeah, America first all day. But if you look in conservative media, all they talk about is Israel. And I thought that was very conspicuous. Prager University, Breitbart, Daily Wire, they would have 3 articles that totally made sense to me. Like, here's the case for low taxes. Here's the case for, having kids.
Took race out of it and said, Poland,
This has been told to me since I was a kid, right? About immigrants coming in and working harder. They said that about the white
highways, bridges.
Where are they doing that in Africa?
Well, they're doing it in like the Congo.
Oh, okay.
The Congo is a very resource-rich country. They're doing it in West Africa.
But the idea is that there's something in it for them, and you feel like in Egypt and in
Israel.
Sorry. In Egypt. So you feel like in Egypt and Israel, there's nothing in it for us.
No, there isn't.
And so you're not necessarily against sending foreign aid. You're just against sending foreign aid for interests that aren't ours. And these interests seem to be for the Jews. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, okay. Exactly. It's, in other words, it's if you're an American and you're going to lay out, should we send money? Where should we send it? How much?
I hear this from people that hire folks.
Hit pieces were written on you from the conservative side. Okay, pro-feminism, and what else was the third one?
So those are like one thing. So that's just like social issues, like and not the interests of foreign governments or watch my show. Some followers of mine, unbeknownst to me, they went to his event.
Does that make sense? So then overall, it's like we have a bigger media company, and like in the end, I probably will hire more Americans because there are different types of jobs that people from Nigeria would do versus an American.
Yeah, there's an argument there about economic growth.
I'm not like I don't know all the stats and stuff when it comes to. I'm just thinking like in my life as an American, that would make my life easier.
No, and that's actually a very cogent point.
And then it's like because then it's like the countries that do allow immigration, wouldn't they have an advantage over us where they could outcompete us in the long run?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is. There's no question that bringing in immigrants grows the economy. Like, that's not even a question. It grows the GDP. Of course it does. The question is, though, for the people that are graduating college now in America, they're having to compete with, and it's impossible, having to compete with people that are brought over on an H-1. I'm about to explain all this. The main issues that
This has been told to me since I was a kid.
And then when I found out you had to be drafted in order to vote, I would give that shit up so fast.
Yeah.
And so I asked a panel of women, and I said, if you had to be drafted, would you give up the right to vote? And they all said, yeah, they'd give it up.
Yeah.
They'd learn so many recipes.
Having a good time at home, hanging out.
Okay, so pro-gay, pro-feminism, and what else was the third
So
one?
those are like one thing. So that's just like social issues. Like they're very liberal on social issues.
Literally just to protest the name changing of the park.
Well, that was one of the
reasons. Media. So why was she, if she was a conservative, why does she know the left-wing people?
It's a great question. What you'll find is that the conservatives and the liberals collaborate a lot more than people understand. Mm-hmm. And they collaborate to keep out.
Boom. What have I been saying? What have I been saying? He just said, where's the lie? I want to see where the lie is. Where's the lie? What did he just say was a lie? He's upfront and honest about his racism. Okay? So, where are we at?
Or at the seat of the throne.
It's also because it's mostly women graduating and they're getting these bullshit-ass degrees.
I agree.
Is against
immigrants are pouring over, both low-skill and high-skill immigrants, that American workers are struggling to get jobs and are actually the college-educated Americans.
And then when I found out you had to be drafted in order to vote, I would give that shit up so fast. Media. So why was she, if she was a conservative, on the right together?
Right. But the problem, I'm America's favorite gay black veteran. Mm-hmm. Okay. But we don't really support that. That's not actually a Christian thing. It's, it's not a Catholic thing. So they were very pro-gay and like pro-feminism and very pro all these like liberal.
Yeah, because they used to say first wave feminism was good. Yeah. And that's not a conservative value. Because to me, feminism is and always has been a hate group.
100%.
Yeah, but to them, and that's why I didn't always think that until I started researching like the early suffragettes. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that right? And when I realized that, that's what we talked.
Well, at least you've been listening to us, Pearl. At least you got that. But you could give us credit.
About the right to vote. The reason there was anti-suffragettes was because they were trying to destroy the family, and before it was like one vote for the family and you trusted like that makes more sense.
Totally.
But then that was sort of the second part of the business. Like we're looking at managing YouTube channels, the early suffragettes. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. And in the same way that a consumer,
before they divided the Hispanics, the white Hispanics from white and non-white, okay? From the last part we're going to do is
when you bring over a completely foreign population, they use a different. Immigrants are pouring over, both low skill and high skill immigrants. That American workers are struggling to get jobs.
At your poll, okay? Here we go.
And I just see like the work ethic of people that are like not from America, and they often work harder than the people that are from America. So in my head, it's like, wouldn't it help us economically if we had more? Like, if they had a certain, like, mindset in order to come here.
There is a lot of truth to that. Mm-hmm.
And then when I found out you had to be drafted in order to vote, I would give that shit up so...
Cassie Dillon was Daily Wire, and I hung out with it.
And they all said, yeah, they'd give it up.
Yeah.
They'd learn so many recipes.
Having a good time at home, hanging out. Park. Mm-hmm. It was Robert E. Lee Park at 65, and it's going to be...
Learn from...
We kind of make a big
gender studies degree.
But even STEM majors.
About the
Why does he support that?
No, why are you against him, pro? Because in my head, see, I hire people from Africa, right? Shut up, Blessing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right. So, there's a lot to unpack there, and I'm going to try to do it since it's the month of Ramadan without making any slander. But me personally, I have never once watched a full episode of Just Pearly Things. I have never once commented on an episode of Just Pearly Things. I have never once sent any kind of monetary contribution to Just Pearly Things. My personal opinion, with the exception of maybe 3 people, maybe 3 women, is that they've all been here to infiltrate the space that is occupied by the minority Manosphere members, be it you be like of African descent, be it you be of Latin descent, or something like that. Have you ever seen her on a panel or ever have someone who is of Anglo descent on her panel? It's always been a minority who has been on her panels. You see that another chameleon by the name of Melanie King was on her panel before. Her most recent show. Melanie King was on her panel, right? She's never had like her own on her panel. I will say that the Real Femme Sapien as well is another I would say that the Real Femme Sapien is another chameleon as well. And I've always had this thought about Just Pearly Things. You know, I've always thought like, well, if she believes in what she's talking about, why hasn't anybody chosen her? Number one. Number two, why is she like with what her parents have established, why is she still pandering and asking like dudes like, oh, my video has been demonetized, such and such and such and such. You know, that's usually the spiel that she gives, is that when a video gets demonetized, that's when the begging begins. You know what I mean? That's what happens. I notice a pattern with her. It's that, you know, she'll have these guests on, and then the begging will begin once the video gets demonetized. But here you see her in an interview with a full-on right-wing racist. Yes, we can say racist man. And what is she saying? Nothing against him. Furthermore, right? I encourage, in me as an African immigrant, I encourage no African to work for her. I encourage an African to learn and start your own, okay? Start your own platform. Start your own entertainment thing. Do not work for her. Because she's actually telling you that, oh, you're just a trophy, basically. You know, you're just a trophy. And that I'm trying to hire more of you guys, you know, as a trophy because you guys work hard. And, you know, in essence, what I get from it is that you're cheap labor. Okay. Yeah, she did. Because when you look on her show, right, she does not have not a single Anglo man that really comes on her show. I have not seen one single Anglo man who has been on her show. I have not seen one single Anglo man whose platform rose up to the top after being like after being on her show, because there hasn't been any on her show. Now, even the guy with the whatever podcast, they haven't collaborated. You will wonder, well, you know, they're right in the same alley. Why haven't they collaborated? You know, shout out to Mati Tijani. He was on the show one time. And she did have a couple of Muslims on the show. You know, may Allah bless those Muslims' intentions, because they probably didn't know what they were walking into at the time. But she's basically telling you that she's no different from a modern woman. She is no different from these modern women who say they don't need a man, who say, I can do this all by myself, this, that, and the other. She's taking from the same playbook that they're taking from, and she's just dressing it up in the content that is geared towards a man's plight, while not even not even giving a rat's butt about a man's plight, okay? Now, I want to read a few things, and then I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to make another video, because the thing is, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to sound very harsh. I never really get on with Anglo people from America. I'm going to be honest with you. I never really got on with them. Like, I really never got on with Anglo people from America. I never really got on with Anglo people from Western Europe. The only people who share their phenotype that I got on with are from Eastern Europe. Number one, they share quite a few of them share the same religion as I do. Number two, their mindsets are pretty much kind of like similar to my mindset. And number three, they don't even rock with Anglo people from like Western Europe and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, for me, you know, and maybe if you want, leave in the comment section if you want me to do this. But me, I don't call Anglo people from like America, Anglo people from Western Europe, Anglo people from Latin America. I don't even call them Caucasian, because that's an insult to the real Caucasians. You know what I mean? The real Caucasians from that region of the world, from the what we say in Russian, the Kavkaz. You know, that's an insult to them. I don't want to insult them. I only call them Caucasians, though. I don't call like the Anglos Caucasians. I call them Anglos. That's how I know them as. They're not Caucasians, okay? That's the thing. They're not. That's another video in itself. We can go into that. If you want me to make a video about it, I can make a video about it, okay? It's up to you guys. Leave in the comment section. But I want to read something that we need to be aware of. So, you know, sometimes I get ideas from videos, from books. And this book right here, it gave me the idea for this video. It's called African Caliphate. It's about like the government of Uthman Danfodio. For those of you guys who don't know, he was a revolutionary who wanted to set wanted to set the wrong to the right. And so, yeah. But his brother had the name Abdullahi, right? And what is telling, you know, what is said in the book. It said, Shehu Abdullahi was never one to show respect for oppressors, for whom he reserved the most vehement condemnation. He said, what is the difference except in appearance, he asked, in Tariq al-Salihin between wild dogs which terrify innocent people and tear off their clothes, and law enforcement agencies which terrorize Muslims and cause injury to their religion, bodies, and property. And so, basically, for me, like, that's why my page is the way it is, because I would never reach out to a Just Pearly Things. I would never reach out to a real Femme Sapien. I would never reach out to a Melanie King, who she just had on her show recently. Okay? These people, I know it's sad to say it, but they're lightweight doing the same thing that the women we talk about are doing, but they're just dressing it up in agreeing with us. But as a matter of fact, they're just doing the same thing. Okay? I also want to read something. Let's see. All right, so now Uthman Danfodio's son, who had the name Mohamedou Bello, said actually that he had a taste for power, and he enjoyed wielding it, but he never allowed the power to cloud his vision or tarnish his standards, right? And that and you know, he was one of the powerful men in the whole Bilal al Sudan, which is like West Africa basically. And but he was still uncorrupted, you know. As a man, he could sometimes be inflexible and occasionally ruthless. There are some defects in virtue, and now the thing is, what I want to say is that with me, I know it sounds crazy, but when it comes to like modern women, you know, and I hate to say this, but I'm ruthless. You know what I mean? Like that's why when I see women in these spaces like agreeing with the talking points and stuff like that, I automatically view them with suspicion. You know what I mean? Unless they're married, they have a family, and that they're the example. They're the example of what we're talking about, right? But with her, I kind of just always questioned, you know, I always questioned, like, okay, what is her angle? All of a sudden, she pops up on the scene, and boom, now she has a big content, big following. You have men saying protect her, this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, well, is she the example? Is she being the example? You know what I mean? I want to read one more thing, and then I want to end this. I don't want to go too long. Let me see. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, I am a stern supporter of Afghanistan's new government. As a matter of fact, the flag in the background is their new flag. I support that place. And I always never believed what the media was saying about that place. I always knew that the media was designed to like manipulate and bamboozle you. So I want to look at something in which they wrote, and it's on their website, and they basically said women's rights, a comparison of slogan and reality. Women's rights, in world history, the slogan women's rights has always been misapplied by the unbelievers. Likewise, in every era of history since then, non-believers have deceived women in the same way and violated their rights and slogans of sympathy and partiality and used them for their own evil purposes. Up until let me see. In the present period, unbelievers utilize women in the same way. They have structured their activity even more. They have founded dozens of major and little societies in the name of women's rights. And through them, they are implementing such programs which are ostensibly women's rights. They chant pro-rights slogans, but in reality, they merely use women as a tool to sow dissension, irreligion, and obscenity among Muslims. And that's true. You have like Ilhan Omar, you have Ayan Hirsi, you have other so-called Muslims or former Muslims doing just that. And then you have Muslim women in the West who are buying into what they are selling. Um, um, they only refer to women's haughtiness, prostitution, and mixing with males as women's rights. That's true. OnlyFans, just um, hookup culture, and depriving like actually righteous men of like their basically innate genetical needs, their genetic needs, because of the simple fact that they don't fit the archetype in which they think you should be. They don't care about their comfort, their modesty, or their future lives, and they don't really feel pity for women. That's true too. I mean, you look at what happens to like women who do these things, women who divorce and think that it's going to be all good after divorce and things like that. And where are they? Nobody blinks an eye, you know? The non-believers take advantage of women only while they are young and attractive. During this time, they look after dozens of people and form friendships with them. But once their youth is over, no one participates in their tale. No one helps them even when they are about to die of hunger. And eventually they are made to perform their own labor. They do that early on though. That's why they start with strong boss babe, this, that, and the other. They start with that. You know, they are the same individuals that butchered women while they were still alive, kept them in cages like animals when they were menstruated, fed them. Okay. In other words, women are just seen as a commodity and used as a tool by unbelievers, which is true. You know. Now, in sound Islamic culture, a woman is initially referred to as a daughter, then as a lover, and at last a mother, which accords her greatest respect and honor. Her structure dictates that they solely do housework while men perform various duties outside, engage in manual labor, and tend to the needs of their moms and their sisters at home. They don't have any sort of issues, including mental issues or compulsions. But in the world of unbelief, every woman is required to work outside the home, perform laborious tasks that are above her physical capabilities, and perhaps most challenging of all, deal with harassment and threats from males. A woman is sexually or sexually assaulted in America every 68 seconds, according to a report published some time ago by American research group RAINN. That is on average 46 million or 46,363 women are were per year, and the majority of victims between the ages of 12 and 25. The main protagonists of the unbelievers, their sole intention is to normalize prostitution, gain access to a vast pool of women, and convert Muslims to their way of life. They have succeeded in that, unfortunately, which is why people with the morsel of faith, such as myself, are not marrying here and are leaving here. Everyone invites their own thoughts, and good people want everyone to become good, while irreligious people want everyone to become irreligious. Don't allow this deceptive rhetoric of the unbelievers fool you. Instead, educate yourself on their internal politics, current events, and historical context. Discover their plots and inform others of them. Provide the populace a clear explanation of the differences between rights of women in infidel societies and Islamic societies, as well as their true nature. In order to deceive people, the unbelievers celebrate one day in the name of women the whole year. While we pay the uttermost love and respect to our daughter, sister, mother, and wife, you can post this status inquiry to elderly and alien Western women. So me personally, that's the thing. Like, the talking points of modern women, we have no problem in doing that, in protecting, providing, and pouring all of our resources into their comfort. We have no problem doing that. The problem lies is that their version of comfort includes doing what Sierra does, doing what Jada Pinkett does, doing what now I think her name is Nicole Ari Parker wants to do, now doing what DJ Envy's wife wants to do, and the like thereof. So this is why they get nothing from us, and they will not get anything from us, okay? This is why. And so Just Pearly Things is an example of basically, because you have to wonder, like I've always wondered, why isn't she selected already? There's only one content creator that I know who got selected, okay? She's been selected and she still has a platform, okay? But the thing is, someone put a ring on it already. There's another one that I actually know of. She does narrating commentary. She's been selected already, okay? But other than that, women in these spaces are no different from women outside of these spaces, okay? They're all about survival. They don't give a crap about a man's plight. And I knew Just Pearly Things didn't give a crap about a man's plight, okay? Just based on the guests that she had on it. You would think that she would have, like, other Anglos on the show, but she never had that, right? It's always been a minority that she's had on the show. And it's been the questionable minority. You see Melanie King. Now, granted, she had Andrew Tate on the show, but then she messed around and had Brittany Renner on the show. And what the heck is Brittany Renner going to tell us when she herself is still in denial of what she thinks she deserves? Okay? So with that being said, man, the truth is out. Okay? The truth is out. I always looked at her with a side eye. You know, I never once watched the full show of Just Pearly Things. Okay, I saw little shorts. You know, little shorts would come on my timeline, but I never watched the full show on Just Pearly Things. It's very telling that the book that I was reading on my live stream said that you must follow the dead. You must follow the deceased in your ways. It's very telling, bro. It's very, very telling. And with that being said, I'm off until the next one. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. I don't know what I'll try to squeeze some time in to go live again so we can talk about some other stuff. But yeah, man. I'm not trying to slander or anything. I'm just showing you what it is. She was straight with the right winger. You know, straight collaborating with a straight, like, in a racist right winger at that. You know what I mean? But let it be a lesson to us that liberals and conservatives are all in it together. Okay? They all fit in the same pot. Me, I never identified as a liberal. Me, I never identified as a leftist. Me, I never identified as a conservative. Me, I never identified as a right wing. I always said I was non-aligned. That's the role I always played, was non-aligned. I played the same role that Cuba played. I played the same role that Venezuela played. I played the same role that Grenada played. I played the same role that Libya played when Gaddafi was in power. May Allah have mercy and forgive him for his sins. And with that being said, Fula signing out until the next one. Unjarama. SYS MB.